technology and data. Well, this one is going to be for some of us that are technologically inclined or that have managed, machines. As we are, now that we are in active service, we manage machines. You will understand this one should not be new. But all you may not understand is that the knowledge of those machines can actually be relevant during your retirement. You see, let's come down to agriculture. There are technologies that has to do with seed. There are technologies that has to do with the way you determine the productivity of the soil you actually want to people want to plant to. Now, these are major problems that farmers are facing. But you could just decide to say you want to buy, let's say you want to buy a machine that can measure the quality of the soil and then determine the yield and at the same time tell you the season and period where people can plant. I'm telling you, going around with your machine in your backpack, moving all around places, you will hit. It's that lucrative, you will hit. And some of this data, if you can interpret data, it's going to sell. Because people want to write business proposals to banks, to international organizations, to prove the viability of their ideas. You can help them interpret data. And to write a simple proposal, or let's even say financial projections or some data, agricultural data, the thing is you cannot be handling less than 30,000 naira per page. Just writing and interpreting data per page. Per page. Alright, that's that about that. You see, another thing you can look into is food processing. This is a rice processing machine. Now, this machine as it is costs about between 6 to 8 million naira to process rice, and this capacity can process about 10 tons per day. 10 tons per day, that is on the minimum. It actually processes 1 hour. Alright. It actually processes 1 tons per hour. So if it works 12 hours, it can produce 12. If it works 20 hours, it can produce 20 tons per day. So after all expenses, this is based on what we are planning because we are acquiring this one next year for my farm. We are acquiring this one next year. So now looking at our projections and every cost that it involves, at least after all expenses, you should be able to make at least 40,000 naira per ton. All expenses after you settle all expenses in a single day. 40,000 naira per ton. So let's not say this thing processes 5 tons, just 5 tons in a day. So 40,000 times 5 in a day, that should be 200,000. So let's not say you work 20 days in a month. That's like how much? 4 million. Right? In a single month. Now that is what you can make. And this machine costs about 6 to 8 million naira to set up and to buy, to bring it down to Nigeria and to set it up. It's about 6 to 8 million naira. Now, if this is all you just want to, just like some other older people would do, they will go and buy pepper grinder, pepper, all of those things, and all these older women, you see them, they'll be grinding pepper for people. So it's just the same with this one too. Let them bring their paddy rice, their raw rice, and this one will take you from paddy to white polished rice. And at the end of the day, per ton, you can talk of 40,000 naira. So if you're not processing up to 10 tons per day, it's something. Now, let's now talk about investment options. When you now want to invest actively, you either go into it yourself or you support other people that are doing it. Now, and that brings us to these options. When you want to go into it yourself, because of the risk involved, I will advise, go the route of crowdfunding. This crowdfunding shares risk. The risk only you will be exposed to is going to be shared among many people, and then you can all run it together. You will let them know you are running this thing together. That's why you can go the route of joining a cooperative. You can go the route of bringing masterminds group together, and you venture into this business together, and then all of you put monies into it. The monies you know you can lose conveniently if anything should go wrong. But in reality, it's really difficult. If not, most of the time, weather and some other natural disaster, agribusiness really But that's just that. But to reduce your risk, go the route of crowdfunding is an investment option. But if you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, outsource it. Look for all these companies that are going into all of this kind of business. They are running it themselves, or they have people they are sponsoring. You can outsource your fund to them and tell them to help you manage this fund in an agri-business. You can outsource the fund to them. It's an option for you to invest through. And the last one is sponsor. Look for people that are already doing well. Sponsor them. Sponsor their farming. Some people, the only problem they need is to buy equipment to be able to plant in dry season. There's something we call drip irrigation system. That one, whether rainfall or not, you can just lay the pipe, and the pipe will be dripping water into the ridges. And then to provide a solution for about 10 acres, 10 acres is going to cost between 1.5 million to 2.3 million to be able to install that drip irrigation system. So during dry season, when people are saying there is no rain and some people are not planting, you'll be doing well. You can sponsor this particular aspect of a farming challenge for someone to buy a stake, and then you'll be living large on that. Am I communicating here? So now let's go to the next one. And that's me. That's the old tractor I'm talking about that we bought we finished everything with 1.5 million. This one is our maize planter. This maize planter cost about 2 million. This one is rice planter. This rice planter cost about 2.5. Now, these two machines, we bought everything around 5 million naira. But this thing has saved us, this year alone, has saved us losses of about 3 million. In the sense that this thing can plant in a specified distance. When you are planting, normally, you broadcast, you do some of those things. But this one, make the ridges itself, determine the distances it wants to be dropping the seed, and that way you will have a very well lined up kind of stuff. So it closes gaps, and those gaps, the ones you broadcast, you can harvest, let's say, 5 tons per hectare of rice. But with planter, you can actually harvest about 7 to 8 tons per hectare. That is 3 tons difference on 1 hectare. Now, spending money to buy these two things, at least it's not a waste. Let's say in the next 2-3 years for us, we would have made money. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying here. And now, down here is one cross section of our rice farm. We have 3 sets of it. This rice that will be ready for harvest by December. This maize, we just planted this one in September, and this is the level it is right now. This one, we planted this one in July, and it's already ready for harvest. It's dry already. Thank you so much, sir. So let's go to the next one. All right. So let me talk about the low-risk agribusinesses. We can go to the next one, sir. Animal feed. This one is huge money. It's about $2 billion industry. Animal feeds alone. The way human beings eat in this country is the way animals eat also. Next one. So look at this farm input supplies. Key into any one of these things. Key into any one of it. And then you can start up a very viable business. Let's go to the next one. Raw and processed food sales and distribution. I think I've talked about this one previously. This alone is something. It's something. So the next one, sir. Now this is the greenhouse farming I was talking about. You see this one tent. This one is not big. This one is not big. But this very small tent, it has its own irrigation system, it has its own lighting and every other kind of challenge that a normal farmer will face if they are planting on an open field. This one has reduced the exposure by, I think, 70% thereabout. So you can expect the yield that you would get in this one to be like 2 or 3 times the one you would get in an open field. But to get this small tent, it could go for as high as 2.5 million. With all the technology in it. Yes, it's that expensive. So the next one, cassava processing. This one alone, you can live large. Nigeria is the largest cassava producing nation in the world. We produce about 55 million metric tons of cassava yearly, annually. So it's huge. So you can turn it to starch that we use to wash cloth or do any other thing, turn it to garri, turn it to cassava flour that they use for making food, and different kinds of stuff. Alright, the next one, sir. Food or produce storage. This one, if you know how to store foods, you will eat during dry season. Sure, for sure. Next one. Other low-risk businesses. Consulting and professional services. With your years of experience, this one can work. Property management, people will continuously have housing problems so long our population keeps increasing. 2% every year is something. Provision stores, catering and food vending, sub-distribution. This one, don't think it's only for women or this catering. I know it's like a father to me. He retired as a senior person in FCMB. And what he does was to go and buy set of plates, cooking utensils, and all of those things, and he rents it out. And sometimes he takes job. He doesn't cook. I'm talking about a man. He doesn't cook. He has people that does the cooking and takes the job. People spend money. I'm sure if the management of cancer want to talk about how much they spend putting this event together, it's something. So some people can look in that direction: catering, food vending, and event store. Sub-distribution of fast-moving consumer goods, trading, buying and selling, just buy anything and sell. At least this one saved me and my family during the COVID-19 lockdown. I got an opportunity to supply some safety materials, and all I did was to order for it outside the country, and I supplied and I made some money. Very simple. Middleman, micro-lending business can help you as a retiree. But I don't know if you would have the strength and energy to be pursuing people. But you cannot actually hire people. But you can actually hire people to do this for you. And when you want to hire people, I want to say this. Please make sure if you are in the southwest, hire people from southeast. If you want to do this, sir, and they don't hear the same language. They don't speak the same language. So it's going to potential trouble for you. You owe me money. And so it's going to be the case of Osomado. Today, now collect. So you can't be telling me one Yoruba, I will tell you I don't get your. So that's why Lapo is doing well in Lagos with Edo boys and girls. Higher purchase business, agent banking service. Don't neglect this agent banking service. This thing is thriving, and in fact, it's still not enough. You can open 3, 4, 5 branches of these agent banking services in busy areas. You will make money. And lastly, ice block production business. This thing is a potential. I know all these things are, you don't need so much energy for all these ones, but it's really going to help. Thank you so much, and God bless you.